I've been going out with that girl for 6 months almost.
Nice. Nice.
Been super, super good actually.
That's what's up, man. I'm glad to see it. Like, you've made probably the most rapid progress of anyone I've talked to, either as a client or on this live.
So we're talking about taking the next step into moving in together.
Okay.
I feel like 6 months might be a good time to see what she like inside the house.
Could be, but it's also kind of fast, brother. Cause like, this is how I'm looking at it. Okay. The honeymoon phase can last anywhere between like 6 to 18 months. So
No.
I wouldn't make your decision when you're still seeing like the best sides of this person.
I got you.
Because then you get like signing leases and stuff like that, and now you're committing for another year.
Well,
Ah,
good news is I own my house.
say it again.
So the good news is I own my house.
Okay, that's good.
So she said she wanted to try moving in with me,
Okay,
and at that time I kind of figured like I don't have much to lose since I own my own house.
what do you want to do?
To be honest with you, I kind of want to see what she's like without the lights and glam, if that makes sense.
I got you. Have y'all gone on any trips together?
We went to Gatlinburg for a week.
How was that?
It was good. I got to see some other things, but like I said, it's still a little, glamorous because it's a vacation,
Right,
and she still wants to keep up the same side.
right. Have y'all had any like
Perfect.
have y'all had any conflict or arguments yet?
We've had a couple, but not really arguments. More like conversations where we agree to disagree on certain things.
Okay,
Because no one's gonna agree on everything,
right, right.
and disagreements in the conversations in the relationship, I feel like are healthy.
Of course, yeah. So what you want to look for is like how they handle that. You want to look if they have a willingness to repair.
So some of the things we disagreed on was like, for example, because she has a kid and I have a kid, and we have parenting style differences.
Hmm.
And I'm a big believer in kind of old school discipline, and she's not.
Hmm.
So we came to an agreement to where we try her way first, and if it didn't work, then I come in and play the dad role with the kids
Hmm.
because her kids are disrespectful, and I'm not a big fan of that.
Gotcha. Are her kids disrespectful? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
In what way? And how old are they?
Well, one's 5 and one's 6,
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
and my kids are 11 and 12.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
I've kind of been through that whole situation already.
Right. Right. Okay. Yeah.
But
Even
the good news
considering,
is that
do you want to get like
well, the
married?
good news is we can, huh?
Do you want to get married? Like in general?
Eventually.
Okay.
Well, I mean, in the future, like I'm not in any hurry. But the thing is like I've been through it before, and I want to make sure I'm making the right decision for me.
Right.
And some women, say if you want to say that, whatever the case might
Hold
be,
on. Hold on. Your
yeah,
audio.
they might
Your audio. Your audio is
case
breaking
might
up.
be. Right?
Your audio is breaking up a little bit.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Okay. So what's the main concern you have, or the question that you have about this situation? It's breaking up again, brother.
Well, I say
It's still breaking up.
just warm up for you. How about now?
Okay, I think I can hear you better now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So it's more of an update than a question.
Okay.
I kind of already know what I want to do with everything. I would just kind of give you an update and saying, hey, to the people on here that he knows what he's talking about, kind of thing.
Okay. I got you. I appreciate you, brother. I would just like really think long and hard about it. Because especially when you say that, children are involved on both ends, and you already have some differences in parenting styles, and it sounds like you are approaching this from like a place where you are psychologically entering into the stepfather role. um
Yeah.
be prepared for some real challenges, Chief. That's all I can say. If y'all do move in right now, be prepared for some real challenges. And her wanting to move in this quick, it could be a good thing, or it could be a play to like how would finances be handled if y'all did move in together?
So basically, moving together. The only thing I asked for her to do is to clean up her messes. Um,
Uh,
I can consider it that. But whereas, like, as long as you pay for the stuff, hold on. I basically told her as long as she takes care of the food and snacks and stuff that her kids be eating, I'm cool with it.
okay. Yeah. Just I would pace yourself, man, to be honest with you. Because like, if just
Yeah.
think about you being the woman in this situation. Of course, I would say she would want to move in because she has two mouths to feed, and this is going to be a good financial move for her. I'm not saying that she don't care about you or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that that is an additional part of what she's factoring into her decision when it comes to moving in so quickly. 6 months is pretty fast. Um, and like if things get bad when she moves in, I know that you're coming from a position where it's like, oh, I want to see how she is. I get that. But you also have to factor in your history with the previous connection,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you got to know yourself. You have to look at your past patterns. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to look at the history that you have and know that when she does move in and you start playing that daddy role to these kids, you're going to become a lot more emotionally invested. And you're
Yes.
likely, even if she does display bad behavior, you're likely going to default to old patterns and tolerate it because of the emotional investment. Okay?
Correct.
So that's why I'm like, hold off on this. That's what I would do. You do what you want. Remember, the masculine perspective is to do what you want, but I'm just here to kind of provide counsel. You ultimately make the decision. It's your life, right? But I will be really interested to see how she responds if you tell her that you're not ready to move in yet, because that would give you a really good signal on where she's at when it comes to investment and psychologically.
Mm-hmm.
If she's like, I understand, makes sense to me, fine, cool. If she gets mad or
It's
she
also
starts,
telling.
yeah, if she gets mad or she starts to create distance, you know that she's trying to make a play to try to get taken care of.
Mhm.
Okay?
So either way, I get something useful out of it.
Exactly. Exactly. That would be the better play to kind of delay it. Um, Even if you do have that same desire, because delaying it gives you a lot of data. Because
Oh
it
yeah.
is objectively fast to move in, especially with kids. People with kids tend to move slower. This would be fast for somebody who didn't have any kids on both ends. If both of you
Yeah.
were childless and you try to move in after 6 months, that would be fast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But considering you both have kids, it's really fast. Because people with kids tend to want to like really know the person before they start getting their kids really emotionally invested in the person, because they don't want their kids to have to deal with someone they care about leaving their lives. So I always tell people in that situation to like, no one's ever met my son. No one I've dated. I would only let you meet my son if like we were like relationship territory, either already in a relationship or like we're there,
Oh,
but I
that would.
just want you to do this first, right? So um, yeah, I would slow down, and then the process of slowing down is going to give you a really good read on her. Pay attention if she gets really mad, or if she comes from with understanding, or if she like tries to create distance and then tries to like manipulate. Because you'll have some people do that where like they'll just start being cold after that in an attempt to manipulate the situation so they can get up in the house. Okay.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. But I will let you know though, the insight that you did give me made me get a much clearer window of the world of
Sure.
relationships.
Sure. I'm glad to hear it, brother.
Yeah, but other than that, man, and embracing that whole mentality of being an actual man paid off a lot.
It does. It makes you more attractive, but it also makes you happier with yourself. So I'm glad you made that shift, man.
Well, like I've been seeing the world through a different lens too, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like even the relationship I see from a different lens.
Mm-hmm.
Like I notice more now.
Right. Right.
And what's good for me, not just good for her. Because for the longest time, you live through. When you're like me, you live through the relationship and you live for your female, or whatever the case might be. You
Right.
kind of forget yourself in the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm kind of putting myself at the forefront of things and be like, hey, is this good for me? Not
Right.
is it good for us?
Right. Right. Yeah. You want to stay connected to her, give her love as well, right? But you don't you hold on to yourself simultaneously. You don't
Yep.
lose yourself in the situation. Okay. So yeah, brother,
Yeah,
just
you
keep
don't
me
let yourself.
posted. Keep me posted on how it goes. All right.
Yep. All right, man. Thanks.
All right, Chief. You take care.
Bye.
My man, Justin. Some of y'all who are new here, Justin was in a bad situation previously. I think he was living with a chick who also had kids, and he has kids, and then she cheated on him, and then manipulated him into thinking that her cheating was his fault. I forgot the specifics, but it was like she tried to frame it like, I've got trauma, and you triggered me the other day, so of course I cheated. And him triggering her was like, I think he got mad for something or like set a boundary, and she was like, that triggered her. So then she cheated on him and then told him to get therapy so that he doesn't trigger her so she won't cheat. Batshit crazy. So considering that was the situation that he previously was in, that's part of the reason why I'm cautioning him to move so quickly with this new person. Because he's already exhibiting a pattern of, if he's emotionally invested, he may default to what the other person wants and be more easily gaslit. Because like his first call, I had to get real stern with him. Like I don't have a clip of that, but like I was mad. I was like angrily giving him an answer because he wasn't aware of what she was doing. He was trying to figure out, like he called in originally to see how he can stop triggering her so she wouldn't cheat. That's how he understood the situation. Well, it's obviously my problem because I'm triggering her to cheat. So how do I stop triggering her so that she won't cheat on me? She convinced him that was the situation. Okay, so he made a big shift, but I know no one does a complete 180 like that. So even though he's made progress, I know there's more progress to be made. So this woman wanted to move in 6 months of knowing him, and she got 2 really young children at home. Slow that down, brother. Slow that way down. Big Twitch in the building.
Yo.
What's happening?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's going on, bro?
Yo, a little bit of an update, I guess. Layered with a question. I do have something that I'm wondering. So, it's probably been about 3 weeks or something since I've seen everybody. So I hope everybody's doing good, and I hope you're doing good. But over the last little bit, I've been in therapy. I've been doing a lot of journaling, writing. Like I've really revamped myself based on you, actually. So I guess just going off Justin. Shout out to you. Like I got a new hairstyle, got a new beer style. Like it's a whole new world out here. I'm feeling great.
Yeah.
And I think one thing I've really been noticing is my anxiety's been going down a lot when it just comes to relationships in general. Still with the same person, but here's where the dilemma comes in. As you remember, she's probably a fearful avoidant, and she's on new meds. So she's on meds that have basically flipped her brain chemistry from being very go to like no, no, no. And with that has a lot of hostility, a lot of avoidance. And I'm at a place now where I've been trying to set boundaries and have conversations and respect her med change and respect everything. But it's at a point now where I'm sitting here for probably the last week and I don't know how to continue. I'll be honest, I don't know how to continue and following through with setting a boundary. And the example that I'll give is yesterday. I came home from work. We were chilling for a little bit, and she claims she's like the busiest person on earth, and she is really busy. But she's just like reading. Like she's just been reading. That's her escape, and I have no problem with that. I even say to her, I'm like, hey, you're a little bit like take a moment for you. You know what I mean? Take a moment to sit back. But she has a lot of shame and guilt around doing anything. She's like, I kind of compare her to like a stray puppy almost, like when you go to get them and they're like biting at you, but they know they need the love.
Right.
And she has a lot of shame around that. And I could just tell there was hostility instantly. So I waited for it to die down. And I said, hey, when you're ready, I just kind of want to have a little bit of a conversation with you about something that I've realized. Whenever you're ready, like no rush, genuinely. Right. And she said, well, we need to have a conversation right now. I have a lot of anxiety. I said, okay, I don't want to pull you away from work. I don't want to pull myself away from work. We can have it after the gym, after groceries, so we have the whole day plan. She said, no, right now. I said, no worries. So I said to her, I was like, I'm going to be honest. I know you're on a med change. I'm here for you. I really do feel you. My issue isn't around your sadness or depression or anything like that. It's around the disrespect in our own home. And I just said, like, she'll be leaving stuff out on the counters. I'll tell her, hey, the dishwasher's empty, just to let you know, because my thing is the dishes in the kitchen, right? Her thing's laundry, whatever. So I said, hey, just like, if I tell you 5 times in an hour, the dishwasher's empty, can you put your stuff in there? Can you do that? And she started getting aggressive and defensive and trying to say, well, you do this and you do that. And I said, hey, I get that. And I want to talk about that too. I want to know how you feel about the home. But can we just acknowledge where I'm at first? And she just gets hostile. She's like, well, I'm glad you're so fucking healed. I'm glad you're healed. And because she knows I've been right, and she knows I've been trying to do stuff for me. She knows I've been more independent. She knows like I don't have anxiety or get upset about these conversations anymore. And I just said to her, I was like, hey, clearly you're not in a position to talk right now. Let me know when you're ready. And I feel like I messed up by saying, let me know when you're ready, because it's never going to happen. But now I'm at a point where I want to bring this stuff up and start setting the proper boundary. But one, I don't know what the stipulation to the boundary should be based on these things, I guess. And also how to follow through and be like, okay, she's attacking me or she's emotional. Maybe I shouldn't back off this time.
Okay, so the first thing is understanding what a boundary is. A boundary without a willingness to leave is nothing more than a bluff. Boundaries exist to protect you. It's not to change somebody else's behavior. It's just letting them know if they want to be in this connection, these are the expectations. If you cannot honor those, then I must leave.
Yeah, and I guess my question is, because I've been seeing so much about boundary setting, and it's like, whatever. I have shame around even thinking I have to start learning how to set boundaries at 32, but I'm also trying to be nice to myself and say, hey, at least I'm trying. But for me, leaving, I'm like, leaving the relationship or leaving the setting? Because for me, it's one of those things where I see so many different perspectives on it, where they say, okay, you set your boundary, they don't listen, you give them that treatment of, okay, I'm turning my back to you, I'm going to go do my own thing, and the reconnection will be later. And then I see some people where it's like, okay, they spilled some milk, not actually the real example, but they spilled some milk, the boundary, you got to leave the relationship. You said that's not your forte, that's not where you're at. And I'm just in this weird middle ground where I almost don't know I know what the boundaries are. I genuinely do now, but I don't know what the outcome should be based on those boundaries.
Yeah, so you look at the relationship from a macro perspective, right? So one, you want people who move in good faith. So people who understand that we're on the same team. I'm gonna be honest. The way you described your girlfriend, I would have been left. That's me though. I would have been left. I'm not doing all that shit. Like, yeah, there's gonna be problems, but it's like it sounds like a lot of problems is coming from one side. You know, like you just have a lot of shit you got going on, and you're not really working hard enough for me to resolve it. Like I can be patient with that, but to a point, it's like you not really doing better? Like you told me that she hired a fearful avoidant coach, right? Is she still seeing that person?
So she said, I will be honest, I was shocked. Like, it is the way they work, it's very expensive. They don't do individual, like, sessions. They do, like, a big package thing over, like, months. So she has brought it up a couple times, even the other day. And it sucks that my mind is here, but we had a little bit of not even an argument. It's just been disconnect and quiet, and I'm not reaching out as much as I used to. I used to be the one to initiate the physical. I used to be the one to calm down the emotional, and I'm not doing that anymore. I think something switched in her brain. The other day, she randomly messaged or mentioned, she was like, hey, I know there was the fearful avoidant coach. I was looking into it more. It's pricey. I'm going to look at other ones. I was like, yeah, that's cool. Like, I was like, cool. But, like, it's at a point now where I almost feel like it's like a tug on a lead or like a carrot. You know what I mean? Like, I do know she follows through with her actions and she follows through with what she says. Like, my heart of heart does know that she has. She does it with everything. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, this is clearly a big deal. This is something that is, like, rupturing her life, honestly. Like, she's avoiding everyone. She's blaming like, it's not even just me. Like, the world around her is on fire. Like, her mom, her parents, her sister, her friends. Like, we'll leave an event and she is just going off on everybody. And it's like, this is since it's been probably 8 or 9 months, but since the new meds, it's been like, she's on Thanos snap time. And even yesterday, I think for me, where I realized I kind of needed a little more insight is we were going to the grocery store and the keys were in the car. And normally I do have my keys out, but I told her my keys were in the bag. So she left her keys in the car, and she comes out, and she goes, so you just left my car unlocked? And she had the keys on her side. So I took the keys. I was like, okay, no problem. And she grabbed them from my hand. I was like, okay. No, you got me a million ways fucked up right now. Like, I'm not, like, you don't grab shit from me. Like, that's just total disrespect. And since then, I've been really trying to understand how to set the conversation of, hey, without it seeming... Like, I don't know, one thing, and I'm on a tangent here, but one thing she says is, oh, you're just giving me a lecture. And I'm genuinely not even trying to. I'm like, hey, this is an open A and B conversation. I'm just going to let you know how I'm feeling. And I get about 2 sentences in, and she rolls her eyes and goes, this is just a lecture.
Yeah.
I am Canadian, by the way.
What are the meds for?
It's an SSRI. So, like, depression and, yeah. So she was on them originally. She switched to an upper, and now she's on that again. And it's just like, she always just says, "You don't know what I'm going through." Actually, this is gonna solidify it for you. The other day, I said, "Hey, I just wanted to come to you, let you know, like, I'm here for you. I'm a little bit worried about us, or not even us. I said, I'm a little bit worried about you. I just want you to know if you need anything, I'm here." And she goes, "Oh, great. Now I got to fucking worry about you too." And I'm like, what? And she was like, well, now I got to manage your emotions and how you feel. I was like, I'm not even sad or upset. I'm just letting you know, like, I'm here and I'm worried about you. And she was like, I can't manage everybody's emotions. I can't manage my mom's emotions and your emotions. I was like, I don't even need anything from you right now. Like, I'm just trying to be here for you. I really appreciate our check-ins, man, because I swear to y'all, I will be laying there and I will be absolutely going crazy thinking I'm going nuts. And I'm not, like, I'm in a place now where over the last 2.5 weeks, I feel way better about it and I'm seeing it more clearly. But man, oh man, I don't know. I don't know.
I know. This is something to leave, brother. That was the first thing. Like, we've talked a few times, but like the first call, I had that opinion, and that opinion has not changed. Like, at this point, you're over functioning, and I think you're even using your self development is another way to over function. So it's almost like the belief is like, okay, if I just do better on my end and develop, then she'll improve. It's like maybe, or you make things worse, which is what you're doing. You're making things worse because the gap of growth is just getting so wide. She may resent you for even improving. So when you got,
I was thinking that too.
Yeah, you get someone like that, they are a liability because they're trying to keep you small. They're trying to keep you low. Your existence around them makes them feel shame because it's a mirror. It's a mirror to the work that they are not doing. So
No, and that's the truth too, because I always hear from her. And I'm sorry for always interrupting if I am, like, my headphones are a little delayed, but that's the thing with her lately too. Like, she's like, I'm so tired. Like, she can't even go to the gym. She'll be sleeping halfway through the day now. And I knew that part would come, but I can tell there's shame when I'm going to the gym because, like, hey, I ain't even gonna lie, I'm looking right. I've been going every day. I've been getting my steps in, counting calories. Like, I'm on the cut with you, brother.
Yeah.
So I'm like, great, life is good. The abs are showing, and I'll even like be walking around the house like. I don't even care. I'd be looking snatched up or whatever the women be saying. And it's nothing. She won't even look at me. She won't even do nothing. I go to the gym. I got women talking to me. I had a girl ask me on a date the other day. I got her friends flirting with me in front of her. I'm like, damn.
Right.
And now she's looking at me like I'm a piece of dried up old cheese in the fridge.
Right.
I'm like, this is crazy.
Right.
So there's definitely a lot of shame around it too, because she does like attention from me. Like, she's very much like, how's my hair look? And she'll flick it around and like look in the mirror and stuff. So I think there is shame where she hasn't been going to the gym. But damn, yeah, I hate hearing it. I don't know. I just always think that, like, I'll listen to you and I'm like, okay. And then afterwards I'll go, okay, but what about one more conversation? And it's like, I guess here's the final nail in the coffin for my question. How do I make it apparent that I do need change, or there are going to be consequences? How does that A and B look without, like, I know that sounds so easy, but it's so hard to think about actually giving that conversation.
I just think you're beyond that, bro. Because, and I say that because it's not like, oh, she needs to do one thing. The gap of your standards are here. Where she is right here. If your standards were here and she was right here, then it would make sense because there's not that big of a gap to close. She's down here, bro. I hear what you talk about with like her changing her medication, but she was like this months ago.
Yeah, it's just amplified.
It was like even when we take away the amplification, the answer is still leave. So you already had a person without the medical situation where it was like leave, and now it is even amplified. Okay, so yeah, this ain't really a person to be with at this point. If you want my honest opinion, like we've had our coaching call. I've told you how to, give her the support that she needs, the safety that she needs to like encourage her while also focusing on yourself without like, over functioning so much, like keeping yourself centered. And you've been doing that. And it's only made things worse because it sounds like she's resistant to change. Like some things she said, like, okay, I'm glad you're so healed. That's that resentment coming out. That's that resentment. That's a signal for that resentment. That didn't just come out of nowhere. Like she's been thinking that way. She don't like seeing these. Right. She don't like seeing these changes. She may not feel like she's good enough for you, so she's lashing out. So, you can't do the work for her. All you can do is what you've been doing, which is communicating, and then she's not even willing to be receptive to the communication. It's not a priority to her to fix these issues. I know last time we spoke, you said she was going to get a fearful avoidant coach, and now it's too pricey. I get it, but there's a lot of things you can do outside getting a fearful avoidant coach. You know what I mean? Like
if you telling her too.
If you really wanted this, you would find a way. And she is not finding a way. She seems to be negative in general, not even just in this relationship. That seems to be how she interacts with reality. So that's just the situation. So you're gonna have to. I would definitely advise leaving this shit. We got some people on Facebook saying they need to hear both sides of the story, which I understand. But sometimes
I understand that too.
Yeah, I understand. Some people like. I'm not saying this is what they mean, but a lot of times when I see that it's like people are like on team man, team woman.
Yeah.
I can say with certainty that we're talking to a person who is a people pleaser. Right? This gentleman I'm talking to. He tends to be a people pleaser. He's working on it, right? So an assumption that he's talking to this woman poorly, he actually erred on the side of being too nice, too agreeable, too accommodating. So he's not in a situation where he's treating this woman poorly. She's just a bad faith woman. And they exist just like bad faith men exist. So she has some real challenges that she has to overcome. The first play was for you to create the conditions that will make it easier for her to overcome those challenges. We tried
Exactly.
that. She hasn't risen to the standard. So it's like the next step is just leaving, brother.
Yeah, man. No, I appreciate that, and I always appreciate everybody saying they need to hear both sides and stuff. But I appreciate you saying it's not a good thing, but yeah, I was too nice. I was a pushover for too many things, and now that I'm trying to set boundaries, it's almost like trying to punch through a brick wall. It's just it probably ain't gonna work. But no, I appreciate that, man. I really do.
All right, brother. Well, keep me posted on how everything goes, all right?
Will do. See you, man.
All right, take care. Somebody said that he actually tried, though. He absolutely did. He hired me for coaching, and I am not cheap at all. So people tend to not pay for coaching if they don't want to apply what is said. He comes back with receipts. We've had many conversations. He came back with receipts of like, yep, I did this, and this was the impact that it had. So yeah, he's done more than enough trying. That doesn't mean there's no issues on his end, but his issues are more so over functioning in the relationship because he has more like an anxious orientation. So it's like, okay, let me just try to give more and maybe that. Let me try to make this person happier and maybe that would. No. If he says that she's complaining about everybody, her job, her parents, her family, her friends, we have to eventually accept that she is a negative person due to her own like internal flaws or bad experiences that she's had in the past, right? So she's just, sounds like she's very hurt. And you can have empathy for that, but you ain't got to deal with it, especially if you tried to show her that love is important. When people, here's the thing, when you deal with someone who has like low self-esteem, they kind of view themselves in a negative light, like they're a piece of shit, and you try to treat them poorly, it doesn't make sense to them. It doesn't make sense. If I'm a piece of shit, why are you treating me so well? So eventually they come to the conclusion unconsciously, like, well, if I'm a piece of shit and you're choosing to be with me, then you must be a piece of shit. And they start treating you like a piece of shit. It's a tale as old as time. So you can't really deal with people who have low self-esteem like that. And then more importantly, if you're in a situation where you're growing, you're doing the work and the other person isn't, the gap becomes so wide that either they raise up themselves or it has to end because you're no longer compatible. From like energetically, you're no longer compatible. Like you naturally would repel that person in some way, shape, or form. So the way that she's acting, she's trying to bring him down lower because she doesn't want to rise up. So it's like, I don't want to rise up, so let me bring you down. Let me insult the work that you're doing. All right. What other caller do we have? Hello.
Hey, brother, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, and basically, my English is not that good, but I would like your advice, okay?
Okay.
So,
Talk to me.
okay, and I'm 25 years old,
Okay.
and I am from Africa. So, it's really hard to explain, but I will try, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so I've been in a relationship for 1 year, and then the girl I was dating, she had a family problem. So, and then I dropped from the university, and after my father died, I used to work before that, and the relationship was so good, not that bad. And then when I dropped off from the university, I started a restaurant. So I was the only one that managed the restaurant and everything. I'm sorry, it's really so hard for me to explain. I'm sorry.
You're good.
So my English is not that good. And then when I was sorry, bro, sorry. You can draw me off. It's really hard to explain. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Well, you can come back if you gather your thoughts better in English, all right?
Okay,
All
thanks.
right. I got to get bilingual now so I can take more callers, apparently. He tried, though. Also, brother, if you want to write it in the chat, I can possibly help you as well if I don't have an active caller. So bust out that Google Translate. What else do we have? Again, if you have a question, you can hit the button at the bottom of the screen with the blue and pink person. I'll bring you up and solve your issue. What language does he speak? What you wanted to translate, Umi? I don't think B. Gill's meant to come up. We're going to see. Yeah, he dropped immediately. My man. Hello.
Hello,
Hey, how you doing?
I'm okay.
Good. What can I do for you?
I'm from Liberia.
Say what?
I'm from Liberia.
I don't know what that meant. You know, I was just about to say we've not had many people as of late try to get matchmaking, even though, you know, obviously we don't do that here. But spoke too soon. Spoke too soon. She certainly was trying to get hooked up with somebody, apparently. That's what it sounds like. Again, if you have a question, you can hit the button at the bottom of the screen. With a blue and pink person, I'll bring you up and solve your issue. You can also drop a question in the chat. If you're watching on a different platform, you can also drop a question in the chat. If I don't have an active caller, I'll answer it. She's from Liberia. Yeah, I go live on TikTok. That's where you hear these questions come from. Facebook and YouTube. But the algorithm pushes it out all over the globe. And then some people, it's a big thing on TikTok for people to have lives like this, and they're doing it as like a matchmaking service. So some people overseas will incorrectly assume that's what this live is for. They'll request up and then be like, I'm looking for a husband. I'm looking for a wife. Can you connect me? And it's incredibly annoying, but I get the confusion. Do you think situationships are healthy? No. Hello? Hello? All right. Is it because they can't read? I was trying to be nice about it. I don't think they can't read. I don't think they've chosen to. Hello? A lot of noise.
Can you hear me?
Yes, a lot of noise though, love. What's going on?
So I've been dating my boyfriend for the past 9 months, and the relationship isn't good. The only issue we have is with communication. So whenever I want to like talk about something that bothers me, he tends to just shut down, not want to talk, he needs space. I tend to just want communication. Like I see space as like he doesn't want the relationship, he doesn't love me. Like, why don't you want to fix it? And just recently, he asked me for a 2 week space because he stressed out his like his personal life or whatever, and he just kind of iced me out. And he gave me a specific date, like July 21st, for us to talk. So I'm just like, my question to you is like, should I just wait or just move on? Like,
Is there any way for you to find a quieter location?
I'm sorry, I couldn't get that.
Say it again. Who said?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Yeah, I was saying, could you find a quieter location? Because I could barely hear what you're talking about.
Okay, is that better?
So she's in the streets. Someone said she was in Gotham City. Okay. Yeah, now your audio is coming in muffled.
It's muffled.
Hold on. It's better now. Say something else.
Okay, it's better now.
Yeah, okay. So you said that you...
Hold on, let me go on this fix. Okay, so I was saying that he recently just asked for space, and he gave me a specific date for when we can talk. He's never done that before, so I'm just kind of confused. Like, is he just wanting to break up? Is like, should I just wait? I don't know, but it seems like I know I can be anxious. Like, I think I have the anxious avoidant. I feel like that's the situation I'm in, but I'm just kind of confused. Like, I don't know if I should just wait or
Okay. How long have y'all been together?
9 months.
9 months. How did y'all meet?
We met in the train station. We were just on our way to work, and
Okay.
that was
Okay.
the situation.
And what happened before he asked for space?
So we had an argument, and he basically just left the place that we were at, and he just didn't want to talk anymore. And then he kind of just disappeared for like 2 days. He wasn't responding to my messages. I was calling him, he wasn't responding. And then he sent me this long message saying that he just wants space. He's going through a lot right now, and yeah, that was last week. We haven't spoken.
What was the argument about?
The argument was about us, like me feeling like I can't really talk to him about anything. Like if I were to like want reassurance or something, he would kind of just like. I just feel like I wasn't getting that reassurance from him, and I need reassurance in a relationship. And I feel like I don't even remember this story.
Okay.
I don't really want to get like really intimate with the last argument. It's very intimate, but it had to do a lot with like marriage and stuff.
So whenever you bring up an issue, he shuts down?
Yeah.
Does he ever
In the communication.
does he ever like proactively come back and try to resolve it?
He does. He does.
Okay.
Like I try my best to give him the space that he needs. He does come back, but he's never wanted space for this long.
Okay.
This is the first time he's like.
So when he said he needs space, he gave you like a timeline of the space that he needs?
He did, yeah. He
Okay.
gave me a timeline.
Is there anything going on in his life actively that's present now that wasn't present the previous months?
I'm sorry, would you repeat that?
Is there any other external stressors going on in his life right now that wasn't present the previous months y'all were together?
Not that I know of, no.
Okay. So the fact that he does come back to try to resolve issues is a good sign. Right, when I hear you talking, I mean, he's clearly someone who has a degree of avoidant attachment, but just because someone's avoidant doesn't mean you can't be with them. There's different levels of capacity that they may have. For example, I'm gonna mute you real quick because the marching band is throwing me off. So I'm gonna unmute you when I'm done talking, okay? So there's different levels of capacity, all right? Like a low capacity avoidant will not want to talk about anything, and then he or she will run when there's like increased intimacy or conflict, and they will either stay gone or they'll return and still not want to talk. That's one you can't make it work with. One who has moderate capacity will still need space, but when they return, they'll want to repair. Okay, that seems to be who you're working with. That seems workable, but it sounds like you have a degree of anxious attachment. That's a hard dynamic to work through. The reason why is you feel emotions immediately. Okay? Anxious people tend to feel emotions immediately. Avoidant people have to have space. It's delayed. The emotional experience is delayed. That's why they hate when people like bring up issues and then want to talk about it right now. They can't process or metabolize it that quickly. They need space to do it. So if you're going to be with an avoidant, like if that doesn't work for you, don't be with an avoidant person. But if you're going to be with one, you have to just accept that they're going to need space to process. Meaning, when there's an issue you want to bring up, unless it's like a super big one, right, where it needs to be discussed right now, the better rules of engagement would be to let them know there's something you want to discuss, and for them to just let you know when they're ready. That way, they don't feel the spike of anxiety where it feels like they're being blindsided by an emotional conversation they're unprepared to have. They're just not psychologically ready for it. And then they'll come and then discuss what it is that you want to discuss. Then the reason why he needs so much space right now for this period of time is because this issue has been compounding. Like you said something, you said, you said, I need reassurance. Yeah, you don't want to need reassurance. You can like reassurance, but that's your problem to resolve, okay? Because you're anxious. Both of those are insecure attachments, meaning there isn't a good one or a bad one. They're both bad in the sense where they aren't integrated, right? They're like you're looking for him to give you something that you can't access within yourself. So you're like, when you say you need reassurance, reassurance is just borrowing certainty from another party. Not everybody needs all their reassurance. Some people can give themselves the certainty. And if you stay in a pattern of needing reassurance, you effectively keep yourself anxious because you never create the conditions where you can learn to validate yourself and make peace with the degree of ambiguity. So the constant reassurance seeking, when I coach people who are with partners who are anxiously attached, let's say I have a man who I'm coaching or a woman who I'm coaching and the person they're dating is the anxious one, I tell them to never feed it. Never feed that reassurance need. That doesn't mean that they can't, give you clarity and communicate better and treat you well. Obviously, that's the expectation. But when an anxious person starts to engage in those protest behaviors, which is their way of getting that reassurance, just in an unhealthy way, I don't tell them to feed it. You never feed it. You never reward an anxious person trying to gain reassurance by protest behavior because you're teaching them this is how they can be in the relationship. This is how they can fulfill the need. As long as they give you the silent treatment or complain about some shit, they can get that reassurance or that love that they're looking for. It's a bad system. You have to be able to give yourself that. And when you can give yourself that, you put less pressure on the relationship. Okay? You're trying to have him both manage his nervous system and his emotional state and yours. That's too much of an expectation. You got to be able to hold yourself down and then come to him as a whole person and expect the same from him. I'm gonna mute you now.
Okay, yeah, that makes so much sense. I guess that's why I was so confused because I'm like, I don't know if I'm just, because I've been so anxious this whole time. I don't know if I'm just bringing that onto myself or if he's actually just doing this to me. But now you saying that is like, okay, is it that I'm just bringing this onto myself? Like I should just...
What are some things that trigger you?
Distance triggers me a lot.
Okay.
Like, for example, this exact situation is triggering me so much. It's like my worst fear happening.
Right.
Just someone just taking space out of nowhere and just, I don't know. He did give me a date. It's not like he just left it open-ended, but still, it's like it doesn't calm my anxiety. It just...
So the only thing that's triggering you in this relationship is distance?
The distance, when him wanting space, him wanting time to think instead of just talking about it right then and there.
How frequently is he taking? Okay, so how frequently do y'all have like these conversations about a problem that you're having?
It's been frequently. It's been very, very frequently.
So what kind of problems are you having that's causing you to bring up these concerns?
It's not like super big problems. It's like if he says he's gonna call at a certain time and he doesn't call at that time, and it's like I get anxious.
Okay.
I'm like, why are you not calling? Like it's important to me. I like if you say you're gonna do something, I want you to follow through.
Okay.
Just little things like that, and then that kind of bothers him.
Does he always do that, or is he typically dependable in that way?
He doesn't always do that. No, he doesn't always do it.
Okay. Yeah, you gotta pick your battles, love. That goes back to managing your own anxiety. You got to pick your battles because every time you do that, you're overwhelming him. It's like you're giving him your anxiety. That's making him feel anxious, and then he has to take space because of it. Now you got a bigger problem. So it's like there's a little problem that you're having that's not that big a deal, and then you want to talk about it. The act of talking about it makes him anxious, and the way that he deals with that is he creates space, and now you create a bigger problem because that's your core trigger. is him taking the space. So you're causing him, you're influencing him to take space. So you're creating the conditions for him to need space and then being triggered by him taking the space. So one solution is you don't have to like speak towards every small thing, every small issue that you have. So a tactic that I give anxiously attached people is to zoom out. Anxious people tend to look at the most recent thing that has occurred and then allow that to color the entire relationship. Right? So it's like you could have a good 2 weeks, but then something small happens, like a call is missed, and you forget all the 2 weeks prior where he called you consistently, and then you fixate on that. You create an issue out of it, and then now you're triggered. When you get in those moments, you got to break that loop. You need to zoom out. So let's say he didn't call you, or he does a little something that you don't like, and then you're starting to be like, oh, I don't think he cares about me, right? Zoom out and look for disconfirming evidence. Disconfirming evidence means evidence that contradicts whatever conclusion you came to. So if you're like, oh, he doesn't care about me because he did a small thing, it's like, well, let's check that. Let me zoom out. Oh, well, he did do this. He did just buy me roses the other day. He did just take me out on a date. He did just tell me how much he loved me yesterday. Okay, well, that doesn't connect with it's not in alignment or congruent with the conclusion I just came to. So that must be an incorrect conclusion. Okay, so practice zooming out. The act of doing that will cause you to not bring up such minor issues so consistently, which will cause him to be triggered less, which will cause him to take less distance, which will cause you to experience less anxiety. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So just one more question. Do you think I should just like wait for that date so we can talk, or?
That depends on you. If you want to see if the relationship works, like you haven't to this point engaged in the relationship in a way where the system can actually work. That don't mean this is all on you, by the way. Him having to take distance is also a problem. But that's his work to do. And it's your work to decide if that can even work for you. Some people can tolerate it, some people can't. If you feel like you can't tolerate that, this might be the bad fit for you. But you'll experience less of him leaving when you make this shift. The leaving is still going to occur. Like, he's still going to need space to process emotions. So you're just gonna have to just know that. If there's an issue you want to bring up, you have to allow him to process it. That you chose to be with someone who's avoidant. This is how it is being with them. If you don't want this experience, then don't be with anybody like that. So the answer is, if you want to really see if this connection has legs, then yeah, see if he returns when he got on the date that he gave you. If you decide that I actually want someone to be a little bit more present with me, then yeah, leave. But here's the thing though. Anxious people tend to mostly be attracted to avoidantly attached people. That anxiety they make you feel, you interpret it as passion. Someone who actually did reassure you to the degree that you would like, you would probably find to be boring and then rationalize a reason not to be with them. That's a topic for another day though. So for right now, I would say if you want the relationship to work, yeah, see if he comes back on that date and then apply the things that I just gave you, the tools I just gave you, and see if that helps the relationship function a bit better. Okay?
Okay, that was very helpful. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, love. You take care. All right, people, if you want coaching, there was a lot more to unpack in her situation, obviously, but I can't do everything on these lives. But if you want coaching, just DM me the word coach, and I will tell you how you can book your 1-hour coaching call where you'll get clarity over your situation and you'll get a step-by-step action plan so you know exactly what to do next in your situation. Okay? Go deeper on the coaching calls, a lot deeper than I go on these lives. So for her, we just solved her next problem, her current problem. But there's another problem that's going to occur after that, and another problem after that. The coaching call, I prepare you for not only the current issue, but the future issues you're going to face. This sounds a lot like I don't need Jesus for reinsurance. No, I think you're trying to avoid actually healing and growing as a person. you're thinking that you should outsource your issues onto the person you're dealing with. You got to grow up, whoever you are. You got a lot of letters in your first name. I'm not going to try to pronounce that, but you got to grow up. That was a lot of noise, though, wasn't it? I haven't heard from this guy I've been talking to for 6 days. He's 57. Is that okay? He told me he likes... He's 57. You haven't heard from him for 6 days? Have you checked his pulse? That would be the next thing I would do. At 57, you haven't heard from him in 6 days. You gotta check the pulse. Let me get that age. Check the bathroom. A lot of people die on the toilet. So go to the spot, check the bathroom, make sure he ain't slumped on the toilet. You feel me? I'm dying. I'm hoping that he isn't. That's the whole point of this explanation. You got to check on him. You got to check on him. All right. 6 days. Whoa. I would hope at 57 he's still not in his player bag, even though that does occur. Make sure he puts you in that living will or you his beneficiary. He's been looking at all my stories. Oh, he's looking at all your stories. Okay, well, he's alive. Thank God. He told me I won't see him for a while because he's on vacation and surgery. Okay. All right. Where is he? Is there any proof that is there any proof that he's on vacation? How'd you meet him? You better not say dating app. I texted last, so I don't want to double text. Oh, you gotta get over that. You gotta get over that. Is there any proof that he is on vacation? You said he's... Wait, really? Why? As far as double texting? Because people are way too invested in how they're perceived nowadays, especially when it comes to dating. They're too invested. I don't want this person to think that they have the upper hand or blah blah blah. It's nonsense. It's nonsense. And it doesn't lead to a healthy relationship, because a healthy relationship is predicated on like you being able to be vulnerable with the person. Vulnerable means being exposed, them seeing you. If you're already not wanting to double text because you don't want them to think something, then you are avoiding vulnerability. Okay? Now that don't mean to just send text all day if they're not responding. No. But a double text is not crazy. Triple text, now we're getting a little crazy now. Quadruple text, put them in the insane asylum. You need a straitjacket if you quadruple texting with no response. But a double text is not that big a deal. But it's not the texting, it is the fear of vulnerability. And it's manifesting as an unwillingness to text twice because you don't want them to think something about you. If you don't want them to think something about you from a double text, you're not going to want to share who you really are in the relationship because you also don't want them to think something about you. You see how all this connects? Your behavior needs to map to a healthy relationship. Being fearful about double texting does not map to a healthy relationship. It maps to being performative and hiding yourself. Amazing analysis. I appreciate it. I just came up with it, to be honest with you. I surprised myself with that one. That's going to be a video. That's going to be a video, or at least a clip. He told me he likes me and he thinks we have chemistry. I just don't want to seem desperate. Again, that's the lack of vulnerability piece. You sending a double text is not desperation. That's a lot. That's way far removed from desperation. YouTube short. I got you, Lisa. I'm going to do YouTube shorts, I promise. How did you meet him, though? You haven't answered that question yet. I need to know the answer to it. What is the link that I need to go live with you coaching? Coaching is not live. It's an hour-long convo on Zoom where I ask you questions about your situation and then I solve it for you and give you, your plan moving forward. But that's just you and I. It's not in front of anybody. When I do these live, it's free samples of coaching. It's like you went to Sam's Club. I'm like, hey, try this piece of a biscuit. You like, that's a good ass biscuit. Can I have another? I'm like, no. You can't have any more biscuits. But they're on aisle 7. You can go get a pack and go pay for it. What's the link to your live so I can go online? Just go on TikTok and type in the Signal Dating, and that'll bring you to my page, and you should be able to see me live. What if I get rejected after being vulnerable? Okay, well then you get rejected. If you're vulnerable at a time when you should be vulnerable, and you get rejected because of it, then y'all weren't a good fit. I'll give you an example, because vulnerability is like intimacy, and it's a way to test the capacity of the person. Did you answer my question about how y'all meet? I'm not answering any more of your questions until you answer my question on how y'all met. I'm not telling you what to text them, none of that. You tell me how y'all met first. Because you're skating past that. I don't like it. What was I saying? Vulnerability is a way to cultivate more intimacy, right? And intimacy is one of the ways to test capacity. Capacity is the ability or the willingness for someone to hold the connection. There's 3 ways to test capacity. Intimacy increasing. So vulnerability is a way to test intimacy. Conflict and reality. Think of reality like logistics. So like if you're in a long distance relationship, testing reality will be like talking about who's moving where. When these type of conversations occur, it reveals the person's capacity. I was coaching a woman who was dating a guy for 7 months. He was fresh off of another relationship. And she asked him at the very beginning, do you feel like you are ready for a relationship? And he was like, yeah, I'm ready for a relationship. So they dated for 7 months. The entire 7 months, she had little issues with him, but she would never bring it up. She would never like vocalize her issues because she didn't want to be difficult. 7 months in, she has an issue and she finally brings it up, and he ends the connection the day after, saying that he wasn't ready for a relationship, which is true. But the reason why he ended it is because he was enjoying things when they were peaceful and just fun, but relationships are not just peaceful and fun. So once she introduced conflict, he was like, you're ruining my peace. I'm good, right? I told her, had you brought up issues as they organically revealed themselves, like in month 2 of the connection, you would have more quickly seen his capacity. Instead of investing for 7 months, you would have known that he wasn't ready for a relationship at like month 2, because he would have ended it there as well. So you want to test capacity, not artificially, but as things organically unfold, you want to express them so you can determine how much capacity this person has. Her trying to be the cool girlfriend or the cool girl in the connection cost her 7 months of her time with the relationship that was never going to work. So was he the problem? Yes, he was the problem because he wasn't emotionally available, but her problem was she didn't authentically represent herself. So it's not who's the bad one here, right? From his perspective, he may have genuinely thought that he wanted a relationship. And it was through the experience of conflict, that experience let him know that he was not ready. He would have gained that clarity earlier on had she not wore a mask for 7 months, pretending like she was just cool with everything. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Sorry. I am just getting on to speak about a relationship that I just ended about 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
So basically the running issue was he would say my communication style to him. He felt as if I didn't respect him and how I communicated to him. Even in just like regular conversation, if I formed a sentence a certain way, he said that he felt disrespected by it. Example, we're cooking dinner and he asked me if I put something in the hamburger mixture and the hamburgers are cooking. I'm like, oh, I don't think I put it in there. And I'm like, oh, well, you better, get it in there before they're done cooking. he felt disrespected because I formed the like, oh, you better get it in there. But I wasn't like saying it to be spiteful or, you know, disrespectful, but he felt that way. So that was like a consistent thing for us, and ultimately it came down to why we're not together today, because it just led to so many other things. I started to tiptoe around him. I started to make myself smaller. All things that weren't necessarily good to accommodate what I felt like he needed from me in that. So, yeah. I guess the advice I'm looking for is navigating that, because I'm not going to lie, the other side of that is I'm very independent. And I do not fully rest in my femininity, and I get that. So I can work on that. But also the flip side is it seemed like he wasn't willing to work with me in it. I don't know. It raised a lot of questions for me, and I just honestly wanted to do things from a healthy space.
Gotcha. What do you mean it seems like he didn't want to work with you in it?
Well, he claims he was, but his responses were more so controlling. Like, he would make statements like, you know, get with my program or get lost type of stuff. And to me, I do desire a man who leads, but like, there's a fine line between being a healthy masculine leader and controlling. So yeah.
Yeah, that's very annoying, to be honest with you. So, okay. I always like when I listen to people as things they say, I can tell who's been on social media a lot. That phrase "get with my program" or "get lost," and he's consuming some content.
Yeah, and that's honestly, I said that to him when he said it. I'm like, well, I mean, if you want me to trust your leadership, you can start by not feeding me social media lines, and that started obviously a whole argument. But like, at the end of the day, okay, I can't give you a full background, but he was good to me beyond that. Like, there were a lot of qualities that I did like and admire about him.
Good.
We just could not meet in the middle when it came to like me talking to him, and I can't believe I did the things I did to myself to try to accommodate that.
What did you do?
What did I like? Just making myself small, not speaking up, walking on eggshells. It's like I can't even be the woman that I am. I feel like I'm designed to be in this because I'm over here trying to just accommodate your emotions every day, every minute of the day. So like I couldn't even just fully be myself, I would say.
Well, specifically, what did you change?
I just got quiet, to be honest. Like, I didn't speak up. I'm very like I feel like I'm very level-headed. I'm very knowledgeable about some things. I didn't share as much. I didn't share my opinions as much. I don't know. I kind of like just toned down myself. Overall, I just feel like I just wasn't showing up as myself, and he got mad about that. He was like, well, you're not doing this in conversation. I'm like, well, I'm over here trying to accommodate your needs. That's why I can't even show up fully as myself in that. So
you were trying not to trigger him vocally?
Did I what?
You were trying not to like trigger him linguistically, like with the language that you use?
Yes.
So was it always framed as like what you're saying comes across as a command, or am I minimizing it? Like, what was there more than that?
Yeah, it was mostly that. I feel like that was mostly it. He was saying, oh, you could have formed it in a better way. But there was also other little things, like something as simple as we're in a pillow fight. Oh, I hit you too hard. I can't believe that you would even think to hit me like that. It was just like, come on now.
Like you hit him too hard with the pillow?
Yes.
All right. I don't know about that one. Me hearing this, how long were y'all together?
We were together about 7 months.
How'd you meet?
I had a friend who introduced me to him. She worked with him.
Okay. How old are you two?
I'm 32.
How old is he?
He's younger. He's 28.
28. Okay. You were together for 7 months. When did these conflicts start?
I feel like it was pretty early on. And at first he wasn't as like controlling in his attempts, I guess, to correct me. He would mention them in such a way that was a little bit more gentle. I was not picking up what he was putting down because I'm just thinking that I'm being myself. And I'm like, what's the problem? So that caused, another thing because he felt it was inconsiderate in how he was feeling or how I was making him feel. But after a while, I feel like I visibly saw him be affected by some of this stuff, and I was just like, I can't do anything about this.
Okay. What do you do for a living?
I am an insurance adjuster, and I also have a couple of side businesses.
Okay, check you out. Nice. Okay. How many relationships have you been in?
I would say not a lot, probably about 3.
Okay.
And I actually was married. I was divorced back in 2021.
Okay. Why did the marriage end?
Cheating.
Okay. Has any of your past romantic partners had a similar complaint about how you speak?
No.
Okay.
This is the first time for me ever experiencing anything like this.
Were the men who you dated before masculine, per your own assessment?
I don't feel like they were as masculine. Well, no, I'll take that back. There was one who was pretty a healthy masculine, and actually there wasn't a similar complaint.
There wasn't a similar complaint, you said?
No.
Okay. So when you say they were as masculine, what does that mean, like specifically?
The marriage, the guy that I was with, I felt like I had to take the lead and control everything. Like when it came to finances, and I told him, I'm like, I'm not marrying you. Like, I'm not bringing you home unless you have something to show for it. Because my dad, he's a provider, he's a protector. Unless he's gonna know that I'm safe, he's probably not gonna say yes. So like finances, like even sometimes when it came to driving, like little things like that, I kind of did have to take the lead in. And yeah, that was a whole dynamic with him.
Did you say, I'm not bringing you home unless you have something to show for it?
I didn't say it like that,
Okay.
but I was just like, well, my dad, he wants me to be safe, just
Okay.
trying to put the little bug in his ear.
I was about to say, I thought you activated my trap card. I was about to say,
No.
I think there's something there. Okay. So, yeah, I would say this is just a guy who's like falling down content rabbit holes. A lot of women do the same thing. Just like there's like incel content, there's femcel content. But yeah, so he was like performing masculinity, which is why he was so sensitive to this. So there was like a rule book that he was following, but the internal change was not made. The external behavioral change was made. So he's not even calibrated to even know like what is a real issue and what's not a real issue. So I would say that at least in this context, you didn't do anything wrong, especially if you say there's no past complaints of men saying that you talk to them crazy and they also were a bit masculine themselves. So I would say that's not that big of an issue. There may be a degree of truth to it though. Where, because you described yourself as like not leaning into your femininity, and obviously you're like a woman who has a lot of agency. So you might communicate in a way that sounds like commands without intending to. It's hard, especially women who like, are tops of industries and maybe have employees under them, or things of that nature, or like in a leadership role. They kind of have to communicate in that way, or else they're not taken seriously a lot of the times. But it's hard for them to turn it off at
Right.
home, and that can cause a lot of conflict. But that doesn't seem like it's your exact situation, but I think it is directionally accurate considering, per your own admission, that you do not feel like you lean into the feminine role. So I want to dive into that a bit. What makes you think that you're not like occupying the feminine space?
Okay, I'm glad that you asked. So really, I actually am very feminine presenting. Like aesthetically, that's what I look like. So I can see how somebody can get with me and then just be shocked that sometimes I'm not always super feminine because I carry myself in a very feminine way. But I will say, like, I kind of lead with what I think sometimes as opposed to what I feel. And that kind of, it doesn't always create a space, I guess, safe enough for some people to show up like that around me. But I will say that for the most part, I'm not loud. I'm not combative. Like, I'm none of those things, but I do realize that a lot of the times, like, I'm always just trying to lead or trying to control an outcome of a situation and, things like that. So I feel like that is more so like the masculine that I operate out of as opposed to like, anything else.
Yeah. What about receiving? How do you feel like with receiving or like receiving help or people doing things for you?
I feel like I'm kind of in the middle. I can receive, but sometimes it does feel a little bit uncomfortable for me. So there is some growth in that. I mean, even from childhood, like, I don't like to ask for help. So, like, that's also a thing. Like, for me, I'm going to get it done, like, one way or another. So it can kind of spill over.
Gotcha. Okay. So you're not far gone, meaning that you can receive help at times. You probably don't proactively ask for it. Have you proactively asked for it in like your relationships?
Yeah, actually I've gotten better. I will say I've gotten a lot better in that. With this particular guy, he actually was very good at me not having to ask. Like, he did a lot of things without me asking. So, I mean, there were qualities in him that's what I mean. Like, there was stuff that he did for me, but also like for the most part, at first, his character is what I like. He was a man of his word. He did what he said he was gonna do. Like, there were great things that I saw in him.
Yeah, and it's so unfortunate that this. Are y'all still together?
No,
Okay. Who ended it?
he did.
Okay. Yeah, it's unfortunate that he has that sensitivity because there was control on his end as well, right? That's unfortunate. Hopefully he sees his content so I can holler at him real quick. We'll get him right. Because what you're describing, at least on his end, is a rare quality for a lot of men these days. Like being the man of their word. So I see why you described him as masculine. It's just there was a bit of sensitivity there as well. But okay, so when you say feminine, it's more so you say you're feminine presenting, but you said something where it's like you tend to default to thinking instead of feeling.
Thinking instead of feeling, habits of like over explaining and trying to like control the outcome of a situation. And I will even say that sometimes, like, I'm not super vulnerable. Like, I struggle to be vulnerable sometimes.
What is the fear around vulnerability?
Ooh, I don't know. I haven't like gotten to the root of that. I didn't grow up in a household that was super vulnerable. So like, even that sense, like, it kind of carries on. So it's like, should I do this? Should I not? I don't know. It's not always comfortable to me.
What makes you anxious in a relationship?
I feel like there's a piece of abandonment there. I definitely get a little anxious when I feel like somebody is pulling away or like going to leave, or like if I'm going to do something that's going to influence them to pull away or like leave. So. Okay.
Have you ever dated anyone who was kind of clingy?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right. How do you handle conflict?
I like to talk. Like, I like for somebody to tell me exactly what is going on and then talk through a way to reach a resolution. Like, I'm going to hear you, you hear me, and let's try to get there. Obviously, in this case, that didn't work too well, but I just like to talk it out. I like somebody to be honest and open, and I'll do my best to do the same, and we can try to get on the same page. Like, I don't like anything really that gets me out of my character.
Okay. All right. So I think with you, the feminine aspect is going to be still practice like receiving, even things you feel like you can do for yourself. Like, you could practice that, lean into it more. I would practice getting more into your body. When women take classes like, take like a dance class or do Pilates or yoga or something like that, it tends to have the effect of getting you more in touch with your femininity, because femininity is kind of predicated upon living in the moment. And when you retreat to your head, you're not in the moment. When you're in your head, you're either thinking about the future or the past a lot of the time.
Yep, that's me. Always in the future.
Right. When you're in your body, you can be in the present moment, and that's when your femininity can emerge. Right. And the things that we associate with femininity are like connected to being in the present moment. Like it's very feminine from like a behavioral perspective to be very expressive. Like women who are very expressive, a lot of women don't know that too. Like you'll see pictures they take and they're like, it's like they're behaving like Duke Dennis. Like they're scowling at the photo. You know what I mean? Like why are you just stone cold icy giving me a stare right now? Like that's whatever. But like women who are expressive, like you know, every little emotion is kind of like on their sleeve. Is predicated upon them like living in the now, and they're just letting it flow out of them, and that's intoxicating to a lot of men. Not that that's why you're doing it, but it's like you limit your experience of life when your emotional experience is limited.
Yeah, I agree.
So you want to kind of get in your body. So I would look into practices that can kind of like get you more in your body, and that will naturally lead you to expressing more of feminine qualities because you're connected to your feminine essence in that way.
Thank you.
No problem, love. So keep me posted on how it goes, all right?
Will do.
All right, dear. You take care.
You too.
That was a good call. Haven't really had a conversation about femininity in a while. No more calls, though. Enough free samples for y'all. But you can leave a question in the chat if you still have one. If you're new here, make sure to follow. I'll be live again tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Mike, where you been at, man? I was starting to think you won't come into Dallas. I'm starting to well up, eyes watering. You can't have me in that state, love. I don't like that. I don't like that. But yeah, if you have a question, you can drop it in the chat and I'll answer it there until I dip out on y'all. I got calls this afternoon, so I'm gonna have to run here shortly. Remember, we're going to Dallas August 14th through 17th. They already got my money now? Oh, okay. You already paid. You'll never see that money again. So you better come out. You better come out. Apparently we got limitations on the Airbnb that me and Danny and everybody was talking about last night. We got to get a little bit more clarity because it might be a situation where fewer people can actually come to the B&B than we thought. Not like stay, but visit. So for some people who are flying in, might be a situation where y'all can only see us when we go out. So we're gonna be reaching out to the host to get more clarity, because the Airbnb is like, oh, it sleeps 23 people. We have 14 people staying, but then they didn't give us enough slots to add additional names to reach the number 23. I thought that was always the case. Yeah, but the way that we finessed it was it says it sleeps 23. The implication is 23 people can be there. So we capped it at 14, and then we're like, we'll leave the rest of the space for people to come, and then we'll add them to the Airbnb booking so that they have access. So essentially we're treating them like additional guests. Make sense? But when it was time to fill out the names, there were not 23 slots. So the question is, why did you say sleeps 23 if there are not 23 slots? So we'll get more clarity on it. We got a month to figure it out. And if it happens to be a strict limitation, we'll make accommodations, don't worry. When would be the next one? It'll probably be next year. We'll do them like once or twice per year. I'm aiming towards twice per year, but the next one will either be in Toronto, LA, or Chicago. A minimum age? I didn't even really think about that, to be honest with you. 21, I guess. Toronto will be fun. Atlanta? Hell no. I'm good on Atlanta. 24? 24 should be the limit. I'm with that. I'm with 24 being the limit, the minimum. Ohio, hell no. Ain't nothing in Ohio. I'm treating this shit as a vacation. I've never thought, I want to get away from the rigmarole. I'm gonna go to Ohio. Anyone can join? Yeah. What's up, Gigi? I ain't know why he was in the building. What's up, baby? I'll be home soon. Hopefully dinner is cooked. Coach want to go to Wyoming. No. Matt's age? Matt's age. What you think, Bobby? What's the Matt's age? Not 80. If you got a life alert, you definitely can't be there. 65? Yeah, still too high. Matt's age, I'm gonna say, yeah, I was in the fours myself. 45, the Matt's age. $45 is the Matt's age. As I get older, that age will increase. Who said 42? You want me to lower it? I was gonna say 40 at first. But 45 I think is fair. I think 45 is fair. I think 45. I mean, exceptions can be made. Exceptions can be made for sure. But yeah, I like either Toronto or, but it's like, I don't know, because I don't know when I want to do the next one. I don't want it to be like, I don't think it's a good idea to do it during holiday season because people aren't going to be willing to pay that money to come because it's holiday season. So Q4 is automatically out. So I'm saying, I think it's like Q1 in summer will probably be the best times to go. But Q1, will rule out colder places. So Toronto might be out. So Toronto may be like next summer. So we can go when it's like a good time to go. Chicago might be out too though. So we might do LA next or Florida, one of the two. A warmer climate. Or Puerto Rico. Somebody said Puerto Rico. So we might do Puerto Rico next. And then hit like Toronto. Who said 25 to 30? Like I'm not 36 years old. Who said that? About to piss me off in here. Toronto weather's still good up till end of October. Yeah, but it's like I can't plan it for Q4 because I already know people not gonna come Q4. Holiday, they got Christmas gifts to buy and shit like that. They're seeing their family. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Appreciate you, T. So, yeah, I'm thinking summertime and Q1 are the good times to come. Does true love exist? Yes. Chicago is greater than Toronto? I don't know, man. I don't know. I've been to Chicago. I like Chicago. When I went to Chicago, I was like, I can live here actually. But I've never been to Toronto. So I got to make that happen. DMV. I'll be willing to do DC. I'm not trying to do Maryland or Virginia though. Ugh. For what? The only thing they got in Maryland is crab cakes. Why did you look to the side when you said yes? I don't know, but my eyes tend to move because I'm neurodivergent. So when I'm formulating my thoughts, I have to look around to access them. Montreal's gorgeous too, to be honest. Nice. Which is better, Montreal or Toronto? Which one has the ladies? Eva would know. France? Are you saying you're from France, or are you saying to come to France? I gotta grow my audience like crazy if I want to do like overseas trips. For this, at least. So Montreal's the spot to go, Goose? All right. We might switch it from Toronto to Montreal then, baby. What's up, Cass? Cash, you was supposed to come out to Dallas, man. You're supposed to get on that 16-hour flight. Come to the States. It's a shame. It's a shame. I feel like Montreal is the best city in Canada. Okay, I gotta hit it up then. I'll still pop out to these spaces, like even outside of doing like the whole group trip. Me, Danny, Sale, and Bobby definitely gonna pop out places. We definitely taking some guys trips somewhere. CJ as well. Can't forget C Jizzle. Guy trips. Hell yeah. I do not love flying though. Your love for me should be higher. It should exceed your hatred for flying. Us Lady Miles will be going on straight. Okay. Any final questions, people, before I get out of here? People speak highly of Montreal. Like, I got a lot of clients in Canada in general. Goose being one of them. The UK, I have no desire to go to the UK. No desire. With the red shirt today? I didn't know you were coming, or else I would have put it on. London is a vibe. Okay, Nadia. You may convince me. What about it is a vibe though? You been, Bobby? That's the thing, Hannah. I'm big on food, man. I'm big on food. So I don't know if I can eat that bullshit they got over there. It's very vibrant. All the areas are different. A lot to do. Okay, we'll make it happen. It's just not a high priority, to be honest with you. Beans and toast, right? I can't get with it. Maybe I'll go like during cutting season. When I get like another cutting season, I'll go to the UK so I can make it easier on myself. All they got is gloop and glop. Right. Why this woman I was dealing with avoidant and bipolar disorder blocked me with no explanation? I'm gonna go out on a limb here, Tremonius, and say that the woman who was avoidant and had bipolar disorder blocked you precisely because she was avoidant and had bipolar disorder. That would be the conclusion that I come to. Sounds like something a person like that would do, does it not? Funny story, they got to block me and unblock me, added me again. How you gonna play it? Chicken tikka is a national dish. I don't like the name of that shit. Chicken tikka. Doesn't sound appetizing. Does not sound appetizing. Mm-mm. Is it good, Maya? Maya, you would know. Maya, don't you have like a cooking page? Why you start posting on that? You never had Indian food? I have. I had like Not a lot of Indian food. I've ordered some. I had some, you know, what's that orange shit with the chicken in it? And that garlic naan. Shit is good. Shit is good. Butter chicken, yeah. Yeah. Fire. Fire. So I got to try chicken tikka then. Don't judge it by the name. I got to try it. I think I judged it because you were saying that's the national dish in the UK, and the UK to me is like, ugh. So it's like, I just connected the dots. But a lot of people confirmed in the chat is good, so I'm gonna give it a try. I might DoorDash that today, actually. That'd be a good idea. Go ahead and DoorDash it. What are your thoughts on avoiding that accuses the other person of things that genuinely didn't occur? If it genuinely didn't occur, you can go ahead, buddy. If it genuinely didn't occur, then like that's probably not a good person to be with in the first place. They colonized my people. Uh-oh. Missed about to bear arms. DoorDash, what about cooking? I don't know how to cook chicken tikka. I don't even know what the shit was. Think I'm about to hop on Paula Dean's YouTube page and learn that shit while my stomach is growling? Nah, DoorDash me, please. You don't like to cook? I don't like to cook. I can, but I don't like to do it. I'll have like meal delivery services coming weekly. It's just it's a chore to me. I don't like doing it. Paul ain't cooking no tikka? You think Paul ain't cooking no tikka? What's your best dish? I'm a big steak guy. There was a wildfire in Canada. They got to get ICE to deport the smoke. It's here illegally. It is here illegally. CC, don't get that imagination fired up. You know how you get. Someone already talked about a man cooking. Now you over there. Dreamy. How much the coaching calls cost? DM me, we'll talk about it. I don't share the price publicly. Because sometimes it changes and goes up. And typically, the longer you wait, the more it increases. So you normally want to book sooner than later. I've been cooking since I was 10. Cooking is my passion. Mister, your profile picture looks like a YouTube person. His name is Hamza. All right. Yeah. He's like in the manosphere. Okay.